In the oil and gas sector, the use of portable chemical tanks to transport chemicals has a long history, but it's a history not without its fair share of health and safety-related incidents. It's been acknowledged that improving tank designs and the ways in which they are handled would make operations safer, but it would require radical changes to existing designs and methods to achieve this. In an attempt to rationalize the equipment and practices used, a step change in safety guideline produced to help the designers, manufacturers, owners, and end users of chemical tanks outlined the necessary changes to be made in order to reduce the amount of accidents or incidents during handling operations. It was produced on behalf of the industry in general to help and, where possible, standardize practices and procedures. The design aspect mainly involved the retrofitting of features to make existing problems safer, rather than design them out. During the trip life cycle of a tank on a typical job, everyone involved has specific responsibilities to comply with health and safety guidelines. At every stage, a series of checks must be made to ensure that the tank meets the specific criteria to allow its continued use. The tank provider, the chemical provider, the tank transporters, the shipper, the offshore receiver, the chemical user, the dispatcher, the shipper, the onshore receiver, the transporters, and finally the tank provider or tank cleaner. But, as the saying goes, any chain is only as good as its weakest link. The design of conventional tanks certainly provides opportunities for mistakes to be made or accidents to happen. Conserve Oilfield Services saw an opportunity to design a tank with unique features that would effectively eliminate 99% of the potential hazards and issues associated with conventional chemical tank operations. Conserve's patented safety chemical tank concept is the solution the industry has long been waiting for. The safety chemical tank concept is type approved by Lloyd's Register and the Norske Veritas, and is in full compliance with the most up-to-date International Maritime Dangerous Goods Code. Designed and manufactured to the most stringent specifications, the safety chemical tank's most obvious difference is how much lower it is than a conventional tank, even though its footprint is exactly the same as a corresponding conventional cylindrical chemical tank. Its lower profile allows the majority of necessary checks to be made without using any ladders or steps. It is, however, the less obvious improvements that enhance its safety aspects. Previously, the pressure vacuum relief valve venting button on conventional tanks was incorrectly used to release any buildup of pressure in order to speed up the decanting process. The valve is an important safety feature, and therefore manual intervention is not permissible. The tendency was for them to be wedged open with batons or wooden wedges to allow air to continuously enter the tank in order to improve decanting. This misuse can result in damage and even failure of the valve and a possible leak of contents. Conserve safety tanks have a 3/4-inch air vent valve that can be used to allow air into the tank when decanting. The tank's new design of pressure vacuum relief valve has no manual override button fitted, which removes the potential for wedges turning into dropped objects. Conventional tanks are now being retrofitted with air vent valves. Unfortunately, in most cases, climbing is still necessary if these valves are fitted in accordance with the IMDG code. The pitch of the safety chemical tank's base helps maintain a constant flow rate and allows contents to discharge more effectively. The result is a quicker turnaround that is highly beneficial when decanting multiple tanks of the same product, so tanks can be off-hired or reused faster. In a horizontal or vertical conventional tank, the discharge valve is situated halfway along its length or in its center, resulting in 2 to 4 liters of usable chemical remaining in these longer flanged pipes, and this usable product inevitably ends up as residue. The safety chemical tank's discharge valve position prevents this loss, bringing added value to the user. Less waste means less to be disposed of when the tank is returned. So, there is a reduction in disposal costs, and the environment benefits as well. In order to allow stacking, each tank has a robust male stacking locator on top of each corner post and a female locator on the underside that is capped internally to prevent debris lodging and falling out later. The lifting pad eye has a profiled V, which prevents the shackle from falling back and being damaged if another safety tank is stacked on top. the stacking of tanks and other equipment is not considered acceptable on certain offshore locations. The unique features of the safety chemical tank may prompt a reassessment of this policy. A conventional graded tank roof requires a welded or bolted-on flat plate for stenciling the serial number onto. In some cases, tanks do not even have serial numbers on the roofs, which make it difficult and awkward for crane operators to record asset movements. The safety tank's flat galvanized roof has a stenciled serial number that is readily visible. Its roof plates are attached by the Nordlock bolt retention system that prevents bolts from loosening due to vibration, which can be a frequent problem with standard or nylock nuts. The safety tank's roof is bolted on so it can be removed and replaced with minimal downtime. This avoids the possibility of grinding or welding sparks damaging the stainless steel vessel while repairing galvanized or painted gratings. The International Ship and Port Facility Security Code, ISPS, as adopted by the International Maritime Organization, is designed to ensure the security of cargo arriving at the quayside. The safety tank makes provision for this by having anchor points on the lids to allow security sealing or padlocking of the tank once filled. The anchor points also feature a chain and snap hook to secure them during transit. The roof plates have panels of anti-slip material to provide a firm foothold when the roof of the safety tank is being accessed for this purpose. All valves and the dipstick port also have TIR security features. On some conventional tanks, their manway cover lids are a tripping hazard because they don't fold flat after opening, and their hinges can also be damaged. When personnel are looking inside the tank, the cover lids can also fall back, resulting in injury. Grating lids are heavy, more difficult to secure and repair, provide hiding places for loose objects, and can, when damaged, become potential snagging points for wire rope or chain slings. Should the need arise to open these offshore, the safety tank manway access lids fold completely flat so there are no concerns about possible injury. The safety chemical tank has a conventional Fort Vale manway with 6-point closure. The swing bolt hinge pins on a standard manway are retained with grub screws that can slacken over time, allowing vibration to loosen the swing bolts, a possible dropped object incident waiting to happen. The hinge pins on a Conserve safety tank are drilled and fitted with split pins, so even if the grub screw falls out, the pin can't. Peace of mind once more. Safety is in the detail. For ready access, all the important fittings are at the front of the safety chemical tank at a greatly reduced height than on a conventional tank. The airline valve, which has a self-locking slide, the document pocket, the dipstick access port, allowing a contents level reading without having to climb up the tank, and the pressure vacuum relief valve, making the required inspection of components easier and safer. Having all these fittings on one level at an easily accessible height helps not only those operating the tanks, but those responsible for checking in compliance with a step change in safety guidelines or any company procedure. Let's now see the difference in time it takes to perform the recommended standard checks on a conventional tank and a safety chemical tank by placing them side by side. It appears that the necessary checks are complete for the safety chemical tank, so let's speed up the conventional tank checks to avoid wasting one of the most precious commodities available: time. The Conserve Oilfield Services Safety Chemical Tank is presently available in 3 sizes: 500 imperial gallons, 2,273 liters, 600 imperial gallons, 2,727 liters, 1,000 imperial gallons, 4,546 liters. All feature the unique design developments that make the Conserve Safety Chemical Tank the tank of choice for organizations wishing to improve operational efficiency and eliminate unwelcome incidents or accidents. Conserve produce a variety of other products designed to add value and bring safety benefits to users, such as the 1,000-liter intermediate bulk container. For further details about the safety chemical tank or other products or services, contact inquiries@conserveplc.co.uk.